Clifton Strength.
Hmm.
And I went and took it. And it was kind of very, very interesting because for people who don't know what these Clifton Strengths are, it's usually in business to kind of understand the strength of the employees or the students. And the idea is that you have these 34 characteristics, and they basically rank you in these, they rank these 34 characteristics for you. So the top one is the one that really tells about you, the top 10. And my first one was learning, which is something that I really, it kind of defines my whole life. This desire to learn, and mostly also in the formal way, like well, I went all the way to do a PhD, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely
but
like learning
also
there.
yeah, but also in an informal way, like this traveling, this living in places is just about learning. And the second one was connectedness, and that was
Hmm.
kind of a slap in the face in a good way. And Marlon spent like we spent maybe 3 hours talking together, and he had a lot of experience with these tests, and he was kind of drawing connections with me, and it was so intense to realize that this desire to learn and this desire to connect have been guiding my whole life, uh, but in an unconscious way. And bringing it to my conscious mind was kind of wow. If
Yeah,
I, that's what makes me happy. And knowing what makes you happy is kind of another level of happiness because it's almost like you have a map or a roadmap or how to get there.
yeah,
Like so it's been very intense, very intense, this realization that uh, I can try to live a life that basically focus on what I like to do, and that will bring uh, peace and happiness and whatever you call meaning or whatever you want to however you want to nominate these things.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I've gone through a similar change recently where I've been introverted and I haven't taken the Clifton Strengths test, but I'm pretty sure that learning is up there. And I'm also sure that connectedness is up there, even though my tendency is to hide away in my room and be by myself.
Mm,
Yeah. And I like what you said about there's sort of like the two types of learning, right? There's like this formal learning and there's this experiential learning. And
mm,
what I did learning engineering in school and going to work, I thought I could become a better engineer and like a better thinker and a better just I thought I could become a better person by focusing entirely on this formal side and ignoring this like intuitive like exploration and learning and meeting people and this sort of thing. And that like thinking like really held me back for a long time because there was this internal conflict that I wasn't even aware of that it was like, hey, like you want to be doing all these like sort of non strictly logical explainable things, but that doesn't fit into your model of oh yeah, you got to do it the formal way and you got to be, you got to look at the studies and all this stuff. So like coming upon that realization has been such a big shift for me. And it's similar to I think what you're experiencing now. It's like, oh yeah, I've been like this my whole life. I like and bringing that into my conscious awareness has been like, oh yeah, like I can talk to cool people on the internet and find cool stuff to think about and feel a lot more open and relaxed than whatever I was trying to do before.
yeah, yeah, I totally understand, and it's interesting how these times have kind of accelerated this process, at least for me, like how this whole pandemic thing and the quarantine. Here in Melbourne, we went out of quarantine a couple of weeks ago, but we basically spent, I don't know, since March with very strict quarantine rules.
Hmm.
And it worked. Like we have zero case. We have had
Yeah.
zero case for 2 weeks now, and
I won't
social
get into what
distancing.
our cases are like here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Brazilian, as I said, so yeah, it's not a very happy. It's a very intense subject for me as well
Yeah.
because a big part of my life is there. But this quarantine aspect of it, and I think connects to what you're saying in terms of being shy and being introverted, but at the same time. wanting and needing and to connect. And I think this kind of personality that I had really adapted well to this work from home environment
Mhm.
and these Zoom conferences, because it's almost like I get my my connectedness needs out of these Zoom chats, meeting people, and more than that, the fact that everybody went online. And now, like, especially being in Australia, there is this sense of isolation that's very easy to. Australia is a very funny and very interesting society. We can talk a little bit about that at some point, but
Yeah.
uh, we are so isolated from the rest of the Eastern world, the Western world,
Mhm.
and and I felt that strongly when I came here 7 years ago. And with this quarantining thing, everybody going online, this distance kind of disappeared.
Hmm.
I was kind of level with everybody else, and I was able to meet you, to meet a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people in Tiago's building a second brain course, and it kind of brought this whole new aspect to my life. And at the same time, I can turn off this call and go to my hammock and read a book, do a
Yeah.
meditation, and kind of, like these two aspects of me that are kind of conflictive, they can now live in peace because it's very easy to switch from one mode to the other.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's been a very interesting journey through this year.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it like that, but it's true. It's sort of you're able to do this asynchronous connecting, and also you can immediately switch to your hammock or you're meditating or whatever.